All right, round two. Greg Masters, author of 10 books from Crony Books, most recently, The Complete Thoughts of Greg Masters.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Ballad of the Fallen. For a time in 6th grade, my best friend, Anthony Shalley, and I exchanged stories we'd written for the amusement of the other. No one ever saw these communiques until a classmate found one of the handwritten compositions, which must have fallen to the floor, and turned it in to our teacher, Mrs. Sarah Dobrin. As the story involved her husband, Harry, being in a cage at the zoo, panic ensued as she began an inquisition to determine who had defiled her and brought dishonor unto her household. Each student in the class had to approach her desk and provide a writing sample so comparisons could be made and the culprit behind this egregious act of subversion of all that was holy might be brought to justice. The interrogation ended with me, the winner. It was I who had scrawled this slap in the face of American order and propriety. It was decided that I should come in next day with an apology. My mother was appalled at my transgression. Not that I'd shown promise as a creative writer, distinguishing myself with poignant observations expressed in a witty manner. Nay, she availed herself not of my brilliance. At home that night, my mom was taking the side of the authorities. My future as a normal person was in danger. No compliment for my efforts as an entertainer. Rather, a sentencing to toe the line, bend me to fulfill my obligation as a productive, non-unique member of society. The apology was delivered, but, good people, this wasn't enough. A punishment was to be meted out. How best could I suffer beyond my humiliation? You will resign from the school safety patrol. I was branded, made to turn in my cool plastic sash that granted me the power to assist my younger schoolmates to cross the intersection safely. The civic order was being dismantled so I could bear the weight of shame before my peers and be shunned from 6th grade polite society, cast out of the legion of proper behavior, kids with promise and rich futures ahead of them. No longer was I entitled to the pastures of plenty and the vague promises we'd all been fed. Then JFK was shot, and the so-called American dream ended as well for the rest of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Kayla Ephros is an artist, poet, and teacher living in Los Angeles.
Hi, everyone. It's really special to be here. Thank you for having me. All songs are crazy. Song 1. No, I can't find the old you, not even as mine, or in the future when I'm special and smooth, how the sun will cook me in dusty rectangles and still, in the liquor store when I'm dressed clown in the tilted mirror. Pick my vice like a fruit, be done. Song 1B. And still, the whole picture with no footprints in the snow, it's so miss. 1C. Slide me as peace, you as door guy. Watch my hand take the ticket. Dark tonight and you're my door guy, 1D. Tossing a free lemon to tree level. Staying for the end, lemons just on the ground, being done. Dream. Watching battleships from the shore, babysitting expensive children, the end. Staying for the end, my friend's new kid. Friend. Told me that whoever is inside me is safe and will emerge informed later when I explained, feeling like a shell and craving oysters. Meanwhile, in the dugout, my visions blur the chain link, I'm happy. Song 2. I don't remember our love, but I remember you. No beliefs, no kinks. Dream 2. Your house was nestled into the mountains so close to the clouds, right where wind was being made. One astronomer says the heavens begin right at ground level, so wherever there is ground, there is sky, so wherever the earth ends. Song 3. Needing the city inside of me being inside of it isn't enough. Friend 1 missing from the whole picture, this whole picture severed like a heavy cabbage split and left to fall. If cabbage was more butter, how if rolls and haunts. Looking to draw as in draw out or continue. You as chord progression. Slide me or turn me as page Bible thin. Thinking sideways or how the rear view brings a moment ago into the frame of a moment ahead. C, 1A, me as 1B, one clown in the tilted mirror. It's like this now being alive in small curls of broken news, alone in small curls of breaking news. Dear one, should I just... I already told everyone meeting you was like finding. It was like finding. Reality. Perwana writes me, layers of nothing, the morning after ice cream at the bar. It's funny, my latest fantasy is swift, imperceptible, even C1C. When you reach for me on hold beneath the coin that's fatally both, but heads up. Thank you.
Phoebe Osborne is an artist and choreographer devoted to their friends and excited about the unfashionable, inconvenient, and unmanageable potentials of artistic practice. Phoebe Osborne.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Today, let's see. Today I'm going to do a little dance for you. And this is a dance based on a combination of two scores. One from a dear friend, Laurel Atwell, and the other, a sound-based score by Raoni Muzo Saleh. It's 2 minutes and 22 seconds long. Thank you.
Along with her keen-o eye, the legendary Abigail Child is keen of ear. A bisensual prestidigitator, plunging and soaring with other plunging and soaring bodies, a focusing device moving and colliding on our plangent and imperiled earth. Abigail Child.
Hey everybody, it's my birthday and I'm thrilled and happy to be here with all of you. We had to come up as readers with the poem we were going to read about 2 weeks ago to get the closed captions, and at that point I was recovering from COVID, so it seemed that this poem I'm reading is appropriate. It's called Soap, with a salute to Francis Ponge. It bubbles, foams, and lathers, becomes covered with sweat, covered with blood, washed off, to form in froth, foam from the Latin spuma, pumice, spoon, as in the sea transforming into translucent bubbles, thrum-wrapped, slapped softly as a crest of water falls, sparkling. But in the tub, the soap breaks bath bubbles apart, annihilates them, tearing them up, pulling in two, a 1-2 punch. Lucky for us, viruses are nano-sized grease balls in which the weakest link exactly is the fatty layer, the type of thing soap loves to confront. In doing so, soap gives up its life to defeat dirt and disease, gives itself up egoless, humble, self-sacrificing, melting and disappearing in the effort. Born of animal sacrifice, soap, fat of flesh and ash of bone, soap repeats ontology in its use, dying for life, living to die. The myth has women of course, at the foot of Mount Sapo in Rome, discovering that their clothes are cleaner after the animal sacrifice upriver, after the burnings of the bodies. So death clears dirt from life, unlocking its grip, a set of oppositional movements, loosening dirt, renewing cloth. Such a humble power to confront the visible and the invisible, erasing armature with a foamy assurance. In Yucatan, women clean their hair with plant roots, white bits dotting their long, straight black plates for hours afterwards. In World War I, Germans invent, for lack of soap and treatment of wounds, synthetic cleansing agents, our detergents. Now, greasy brown at the edges of ponds, spinning out tidal pollution, starch shirts, and clean hands. In the 80s in Russia, we poets flew in with soap and aspirin, the lax of the common in a time of tyrants. Over a century earlier, Mary Shelley loses her mother, Mary Wollstonecraft, because the hands of her doctor are dirty when they reach for her placenta. Soap, then, an aid for conception, for life, to survive an epidemic, using it up, boiling water and soap, fire and ash, born of sacrifice and sacrificed in turn. A circle with only one end of its beginning, not exactly a Mobius, more a disappearing finitude. My assistant asked me, what is the scent of touch? I think first of soap, the sexiest smells, clear, clean flesh under sun and billowing wind, though I know de Sade disagrees. He likes the earthy smell of bodies in dirty socks and sheets, farty and burping, flagellating his desire. But for me, the smell of water is the smell of touch, a lather or compost, dripping wet, soft, cool, clear, coning the sky, hugging the body, a skirmish of touch. Between tallow and ash, between clean and stink, between noun and genitive verb, she is soaped up, or no soap. And if Purell is pure hell, it is also a liege protector, breaking the bonds of a threatening molecule that wants to muck us up. And soap, even that smallest scrap at the edge of your foot in the tub, rises to bubble again, to disengage parts that infect, opens the window stuck as your zipper, saving us. Soap, a pot-bellied night interlacing itself with another life form to save still another, an object acting in collusion with a subject, a product whose life force is apparent mostly in consequence, a force that can take things apart, make other things disappear, can melt aggravation, further sex and procreation. A symbiosis of product and person, of object and subject, a wonder of passive agreement, a handable item that gives to whomever it touches, enthusiastic, compassionate, inviting, a double play, and an active unfancy. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Bell is the best-selling author of 4 novels, including Going Down and High Maintenance, and has a new book coming out soon called Swana and Love. Jennifer Bell.
Thank you so much, Ira. Well, I wish us all a year of great writing, and I hope if any of you get a chance to see the new Penny Arcade show, The Art of Becoming, you do go see it because it's fantastic. At Aronson's Flooring, I was greeted right away by a man who was too young to be a carpet salesman. "What are you looking for?" he asked. "I want new carpet. Wall to wall," I said, "something luxurious and expensive." I had no intention of getting anything expensive, but I found that was always a good way to start. "Kids, pets?" the man asked. "Why do you ask?" I said, sounding a little shocked. Did I look like the kind of person who had kids and pets? I wondered if he could sense that I had been cleaning up diarrhea for 2 days. "It's just something I ask everybody," he said. "Can I help you find something?" I saw a photo once of an apartment with a sunken living room and a huge greenhouse window, I told him. Laura Nero is sitting in a chair listening to music with her eyes closed, and Stephen Sondheim is in the background, lying on a daybed, looking at an album jacket. It's from 1969. I knew I shouldn't be rambling on about this photo, but it really was my inspiration. It had reminded me of how I had wanted my life to be, and in a way how my life somehow was, or still could be, in some alternate reality happening simultaneously alongside my real life. The salesman was very kind and listened patiently as I continued on about Laura Nero's outfit, a white long full skirt with a black V-neck shirt tucked into it, somewhat leotard-like, but dressier than that, and the look of concentration on Stephen Sondheim's face. When I was finished, the man who had told me his name, but I hadn't even pretended to try to retain it, said, "That sounds like a wonderful photograph." "It really is," I said. "So," he said, "there was carpet in the photo?" I suddenly realized I hadn't mentioned a single thing about that. "Yes," I said, "but it's a black and white photo, so I don't know what color it was." "I see," the man said as thoughtfully as an old, wise physician. "You know, it's funny. Stephen Sondheim just left here about an hour ago. I could show you the carpet he bought in case that would help." "Yes, it would," I said. He brought me over to a rack of hanging samples and ceremoniously pulled out a large rectangle of bland beige wool with a subtle light blue and white check design. Around me, lush tangerine shags and blue velvet plush piles and dramatic florals with swooping birds, but Stephen Sondheim hadn't gone for any of those. "Would you like a sample of this to take home?" the man asked, still holding Stephen Sondheim's carpet. "That would be great," I said. He gingerly laid the large rectangle on the floor and left to go into a back room. I slipped off my shoes and stood on it, remembering a game I used to play with my brother on the beach in Cape Cod. We'd draw a square in the sand and be marooned there. It felt surprisingly good under my feet. I knew I should look around at the other options, but I just stood there, marooned. Thank you.
Thank you. Noland is an artist, poet, and filmmaker, born, working in, and devoted to New York City, a spirit, imagination, refuge place. She is joined by Luke Stewart on bass.
Check, check. I would like to dedicate this to a poet named Zach Rosen. We always used to hide in the back corner over there, and I think he would be excited, and I'm very happy to be here. Luke Stewart on bass. mystery, an orphan sonnet. In monastic night at double twilight, falling ash, falling ash. Poet's temple, mystery, iridescent upon monastic night. Believer in nothing, no dogma, dogmathic, rhythmic rhyme. Could climb a spine of rubies up into the boiling heavens and down into clandestine undergrounds. For poets who dream, do the impossible. Angel, magnify each twirl of dust. How to arrive in the place of trust in a shy lust for art, elevated airs. Who guided all spirits up humble, noble stairs, up into the temple where the poets meet, the sheer power of belief. Mr. Ra with his real mystery, with her ray, the magician's cloak of symmetry's play. Pink fumes cut your teeth and choke out the wish to speak. Don't tell too many about the power of belief. Mercy-eyed, seeking to leave not a trace, seeking to leave world liberated from painted cakes. Blue excavation, giant night, glowing train, and chaos worn psychically like a shroud. Thank you.
Thank you. I find it amazing that Ed Friedman is the author of 11 books, because for nearly 20 years of his life, he was here working at the Poetry Project, and it was one of the hardest times in arts funding in the States. He saw this organization through the 90s, and we're here in many ways because of Ed. So thank you, Ed. You'd still managed to get out Mao and Matisse, Drive Through the Cylinders, and Two Towns, all on Hanging Loose, and have been a devoted kind of person to this organization and downtown life. So nice to have you here.
Hey, Ed. Happy New Year.
Oh, so great to be here. Happy New Year. A few from a new work called Midsts. It's a hard word to say. Shimmer Crib. Call me connoisseur of Africa and anything good, dead, young, traditional that played there first. No, don't. How about 1960s Beirut nightclub king? Nope. If only we were high tan mountain ranges under clear skies with nicknames, Big Swervy, Lowly Lizard Haven, Dusty Continuance. Let's meet the sea, turn green, deny our underlying identities, flirt with international fame. Never a devotee of stark wildness, I dream Nigerian juju music. King Sunny Ade, Chief Commander Ebenezer Obey, America's Queen Latifah, Jamaican Princes Farai and Jammy, give me word, main word up, what the stakes are in overdriven economies, lost starlight. I call you, hang up, call again when I'm in a better mood. You're not home, out hunting, massaging the neighbors? How what I know best can be most fleeting. No. Why? For Joan LaBarbera. She'll be here in several hours. Pretty consonant elements are not for us, Joan. Imagine we're far enough away, shadows elongated from the hundreds of spanking new, unsold Buicks, Pontiacs, Fords, and Chevrolets on South La Brea Avenue car lots. Our vowels on the bass scale is danceable, utterly frightening, yet oddly calming in its endless appeal. Figured against light and always dreaming it, regions and nations under spells come suddenly awake, open their markets, share wealth. It's nighttime, spring, and the southwestern toads with bony ridges on their heads, either weak or absent, are trilling. Another music near sandy banks and quiet water. I was never nocturnal. You? We go out at dusk, of course, but rarely stay there all night. Voluble hints. Even the head of a pin needs its special cream. We call it sunlit ocean, no, cotton wish. Rub it on, hesitate, watch the day get roomy. My emotions unhurried follow the line home, experience lagging, maybe in tight there. Don't smoke or depend on bees for buzz. You watched me recently take dainty bites to make myself more hungry, long for oceanfront, wear faded green shorts, remove their oily spots. 1 block away, Montana's most famous film director awaits our epic shooting script for Jump Off the Table. Have you seen Sis's feverish writing method in action? Her ink dabs on sheets of cigarette paper cease all control.
Thanks, Ed. Earlier this year, no, it was last year, Patricia Spears Jones was honored at the gala for the St. Mark's Poetry, the Poetry Project at St. Mark's, and will probably be honored again with the publication of a book here that Copper Canyon will do later this year called The Beloved Community. She brought tears to my eyes when she won the Jackson Poetry Prize about 5 years ago. And has just been a beautiful friend, not just to me, but to so many people in this room. And it's lovely to wrap up the hour with my friend Patricia Spears Jones.
Now, I don't know about that. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. I heard you say Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thank you, because, you know, 2022 was a hell of a year, as we well know, and we're all done with it. And we still have a decent president, and the other one may go to jail. So there you go. 2 poems. I sent something to the closed captioning people. I don't know whether they got it or not, but I will try to go slowly so that they can figure it out. All right, so last year I won a prize for a poem. I cannot believe that. I have never won a prize for a poem before in my whole fucking life. This was hilarious. But anyway, with all due respect to Willie Dixon, that spoonful. 1. Tears are useful, cleansing mechanism, another way the body recalibrates heart loss. Dancing in a lover's arms, winefall. Living becomes slight shifts in mechanics. Kneecaps slip, bellies fold and flap. Hairlessness in private parts, grumbling throats announce nightfall. Days when pangs and pains of existence shriek like banshees in B-movies. From the 1950s, you claim bold lipstick, earrings bought in the south of France, and a memory of that handsome man who once pursued your round and bumping backside. 2. Walk down the stairs and greet a day full of talk about the one who died yesterday or the day before, and you understand why your people testified, Lord, thank you for getting me out of bed this morning. You can hear the church say amen. You can hear your own amen. Remember the dances in Laurel and Hardy movies? The fat man and the skinny man, oh, so delicate in their vices? Their larking melancholy, more sweet than bitter? You measure your losses and gains in spoons. Silver, plastic, pewter, wood, sugar, oil, vinegar, salt. Spoonful, spoonful, spoonful. Measures just enough gratitude, just enough sorrow. All right. And this is a classic poetry project move. You write a poem the night before you have to show up and read it, okay? I've heard some. Max, thank you for that poem. Everybody who read before me, y'all were all great. And it was wonderful to hear an Arthur Russell song. People, Arthur Russell was the real deal, and he left too soon. All right. All right, for the new year, and that's what this today. Okay. And with all due respects to Bertolt Brecht, who's probably going, what the fuck? Okay. I started to write a ballad of the pathological liar, AKA George Santos, but there were too many lies to include. It was about to be the ballad to end all ballads. I tried to write a song of future dreams, but those are songs that each of you have to write on your own, each day as you make your way in a world volatile, that sends tanks into the Ukraine, starves children in the Sudan, refuse American women of childbearing age full citizenship. Yes, that world. We make something of every opportunity to make what songs we can of the future, for the future, or just those ballads of daily reckoning as each task gets done, one by one. And then bubbles flow past, signifiers of air, light, and fragility. Our lives are ballads of air, light, water, and things waiting to be named. I wanted to write a song of affirmation for poets living and writing, but some fool wrote that poetry died with T.S. Eliot. Even T.S. Eliot would not write that shit. I regret the waste left on the landing. I'm sorry, I had to put in one pun. Okay. I regret the waste left on the landing where liars lounge. I was being too poet-ish. So I send you this day a song of those who love, laugh, and conjure futures soon to be named, to be made by each of you. Happy New Year.